All right, Unit 5 Trig test review. Unit 5 test trig review, page 3. All right, so this one covered section 5.4, which is all about double angle identities. All right, the last one was sum and differences. This one we're just doubling these angles. In the last video, we will be cutting them in half. Right? So let's just see what we got here. The cosecant of A is this ratio. It's in quadrant 3. So we're going to start out quadrant 3. Careful, it's the cosecant. Cosecant goes with the hypotenuse over the opposite. All right, so we still have those reciprocal. Sorry, we still have those reciprocal identities. Those aren't going anywhere. So again, just another Pythagorean theorem problem. So 53 squared minus 45 squared gives us 784, which is 28. All right, so this is a 28 here, but I mentioned this in the last video. It is going to the left. Right, so we're just going to go ahead and throw a negative sign on that 28. Let's list out all of the identities here. And I'm sorry, not the identities, the ratios. Sine of A, 45 over 53. Cosine of A is negative 28 over 53. And then the last one, the tangent, is 45 over negative 28. All right, so with that, we can press on, right? These are different problems. So the cosine of 2a, these were different identities from the last one. So I've written down over here the cosine of 2a. There were multiple. All right, so there are 3 to pick from. Is one better than the other? Not really. I kind of like, the first or the second one and the third one. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we have 2 times the cosine squared of angle A minus 1. All right, there is our identity. So I'm going to go over here, 2 times negative 28 53rds. Now, this squared here, right? Just go ahead and square the fraction. Then you got a minus 1. From here, wrote in your calculator. You can do it by hand, but in the interest of time, go to the calculator. 2 times, anyway, make sure it just looks exactly the same. So we have our 2, we have our multiply. You got your negative 28 divided by 53. You need your parentheses here. If you don't put your parentheses, you will get the wrong answer. So be warned. Those parentheses do matter here. Turn that decimal into a fraction, so on and so forth. 2141, I'm not going to remember that. Negative 1241. I haven't said it backwards. 2809. There you go. There's your first one. The tangent. Tangent identity, of course. It's a fraction. So that one is 2. It's a different color. 2 times the tangent of A. All over 1 minus tangent squared of A. All right. Let's plug that one in. 2 times 45 over negative 28 all over 1 minus that fraction again, but squared. Okay. Same idea. Plug it into your calculator, make it look exactly the same. So this one is not a bad idea to make a fraction, right? Here, if we can make a fraction inside of another fraction, so times Here, I'll make it look exactly the same. So make another fraction here. 45, negative 28. Close up that fraction. And then on the bottom, same thing. 1 minus, make another parenthesis, then another fraction. Um, 45 on top, negative 28 on bottom. Close the parenthesis, but square it. Don't forget about that square. Press enter and 2520. 2520 over 1241. Right. And then the last one, the sine of 2a. This identity, there was only one of these. This one, I don't know, I think this one's the easiest one. 2 times the sine of a times the cosine of a. All right, well, maybe not because you have two things in there, but that's okay. The sine of a is 45/53. And the cosine of a, negative 28/53. Right. So here we go. This one, not too complicated, so I'll just, do it as is. But whenever you do that decimal, right, if you kind of do it that short way, it will give you the decimal, but that's okay. Just turn it back into, a fraction. 2520. That equals negative 20. What did I say? 2520, I think is what I said. And then the denominator is 2,809. All right, and that one's finished. So there we go. Let's do it again. So quadrant 2 this time. Tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. Whoa. Opposite over the adjacent. Right. There is a mistake on this problem. That should be negative. Right? Because again, it's going in the negative. Well, this way, it's going in the negative direction. But that's okay. And that's something to keep in mind. 12 squared. That does give us the 37. So we have a hypotenuse of 37 here. So our sine of theta this time, right? The angle is called theta. 12 over 37. The cosine is negative 35 over 37. And then the tangent of theta, that's the one that was given to us, just 12 over, and I did have to fix it. That was a negative 35 on that one. So same process here. Keep in mind this with the order. This is a sine this time. Last one was a cosine. So this ends up being, I'm going to just skip straight to it. All right. 2 times the sine. Never mind. No, I'm not. I'm just going to write it all out. 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta. Then plug it all in. 2 times 12/37 times negative 35/37. I'll include what that is. And again, just kind of still to reiterate, these are fractions, but a fraction is just divide, okay? So these are the same things that I'm typing into my calculator here. So yeah, 840 or 1369. Right. The cosine. Again, cosine, there's multiple identities. I'm just going to use the one I used on the last one. 2 times cosine squared of theta minus 1. So plugging all of that in, we're going to have 2 times negative 35 over 37 squared minus 1. And then the last one here. Well, actually here, I got to plug it in. That gives us 1081 over 1369. Then the last one, we have 2 times the tangent theta all over 1 minus the tangent squared of theta. All right. What does that give us? 2 times, I don't know the ratio, I forgot. So let's go look for it. 12 over negative 35. All over 1 minus 12 negative 35ths squared. Right. Making the fraction. 2 times 12 negative 35ths on top. 1 minus, so I'm going to put the parenthesis here. 12 negative 35, close your parenthesis, square it, press enter, turn it into the fraction, right? We're trying to get exact values here. We don't want to sacrifice accuracy, so that's why we have these fractions. You got 840 over 1081. And of course, it's negative. All right, and that one's done. 15 and 16 here, we'll do these in this video. I don't think these should take long. On these problems, use the double identities to rewrite the identity as an original double angle and then find the exact value. So what we have to do is keep in mind, this is the cosine. The cosine of 2a equals the cosine squared of a minus the sine squared of a. So what they're telling us is they want to know that one. Right? They're giving us theta. We have to figure out the double angle here. So to kind of just keep in mind, this 12 and a half, or 112 and a half is our a value. So I'm just going to say, hey, a equals 112.5. That means 2a, if I multiply both sides by 2, what does that give us? That gives us 225, right? So we know the cosine of 225. They want an exact value on that one. Now, again, 225, keep in mind, is on our unit circle. Where is 225? That's this one right here. Cosine goes with that very first ordered pair there. So the exact value here is a negative square root of 2 over 2. And again, this is on the unit circle. All right, next one. This goes with the tangent. All right, tangent identity only has tangents in it. So this is the tangent of 2a here. So our a value is equal to 22.5. So 2a, well, what is that, 45? It's 45. So the tangent of 2a is really the tangent of 45. Right? And the tangent of 45, again, on your unit circle, Is that gold one right here? It's just 1. Look for that 45-degree angle. The tangent is 1. This one. And there we have it. Those are your double angle identities here. And again, just like on the last section, when we have problems like this, I'd really encourage you find all 3 of those first. And then it's just going to be a matter of plugging them all in. Just be really careful on those negative values there. Anytime it goes to the left, it's a negative. Anytime it goes down, it will also be a negative, because I just realized I made a mistake on this problem. That should be a negative 45. Awesome. Well, I got you here. I'm going to fix it. All right. This needs to be a negative, which means this needs to be a negative. Whoa. That's a negative, which means this whole thing should be a negative, which means that's a negative, which means this whole thing should be a positive. All right. So I warned you guys to not make those mistakes, and here I am making those mistakes. So anytime it goes down, it's a negative. Anytime it goes to the left, it's a negative. But yeah, there we go. On these two, identify what that angle is. In this case, the 212 is A, so double it, and then find it on the unit circle. All right. So there we go. That was page 3 of your Unit 5 test review. We'll see you in the last video.